Tonight, MTN has the latest on the manhunt in Anaconda. Plus, how has precipitation in the month of July impacted fire threats?
Which is below normal wildland fire outlook.
I'm Madeline Heath here at the Helena Regional Airport, and coming up, the latest on the airport master plan and their goals of expansion.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for trusting KRTV for your 10 o'clock news. I'm Tim McGonigal. Well, it's been 4 days since the deadly shooting in Anaconda. A makeshift memorial now at the Owl Bar where 4 people, the bartender Nancy Kelly and 3 patrons, Tony Palm, David Leach, and Daniel Bailey, were fatally shot. As the small community of Anaconda mourns their death, many are also fearful as the suspect, Michael Brown, is still out there, and law enforcement say they believe he is still alive. MTN's John Riley has our latest update.
As the 4th day for the manhunt of an Anaconda shooting suspect comes to a close, there's still a lot of unknowns and frustrations within the community. Anaconda Deer Lodge Chief of Police Bill Sather gave a brief update Monday evening around 5:30 p.m. on the search for Michael Brown.
Your Anaconda law enforcement officers excuse me, are working hand in hand with folks from the assisting agencies. I recognize the public wanting regular updates and knowing that they haven't heard directly from me as much as you'd like. I am focusing my efforts to find Mr. Brown. Your law enforcement officers are doing the same. I'm just going to say we got 20 guys and we're all putting in about 18, 19 hours a day. It is important that you know that we're doing everything we can to keep Anaconda safe. If there is a need to convey a security risk, other than what always has been said, we will make sure that you know.
Residents I spoke with expressed a frustration about a perceived lack of communication. Law enforcement refused to take any questions, even though we asked. Has there been any signs of him in the search area?
Gotta go.
In a statement from Montana U.S. Senator Steve Daines, the senator noted that there had been potential signs of Brown in the area, saying, quote, "They're using infrared cameras, they've got dogs, they've had a few hits with the dogs. I'm hopeful that very shortly our law enforcement is going to get this guy and apprehend him and bring him out." What we do know is that Governor Greg Gianforte and Attorney General Austin Knudsen will be here on Tuesday to be briefed about the manhunt. We will continue to provide updates as soon as they become available. In Anaconda, John Riley, MTN News.
As that manhunt continues in the Anaconda area for a suspected killer, the case is bringing mental health issues to the forefront. Michael Brown, the man believed to have killed 4 people Friday, is a military veteran. MTN's Quentin Shores spoke with a veteran and mental health expert for insight.
Explanations are great. They're needed. Excuses are garbage and never okay.
When it comes to the recent tragedy that occurred in Anaconda, many people are quick to blame the suspect's military background for his actions. Out of respect for our veterans and mental health awareness, I spoke with an expert on the subject.
We look at the difference in between excuses and explanations. Okay, there's a huge difference. An explanation is actually something that says, hey, these are the reasons why something may have or may not have happened. It's an explanation. An excuse says, I'm going to say that what I did or didn't do in that circumstance is okay based on my experience.
For owner and chief clinician of Open Door Wellness, Joshua Holloway, the difference between excuses and explanations are essential in understanding an individual's actions.
We love our vets, and we wouldn't have the country that we have without them. And I think that's something that we have to remember. However, a lot of times, just like any lifestyle, whenever you're transitioning out of something, that is your total life. It is really hard to transition out of that and to find your way back into civilian life, quote unquote, right?
As a military veteran himself, Holloway says that anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress are normal experiences when getting out of the military. But the events that took place in Anaconda are a separate issue entirely.
Because we just know very little right now, However, what I can say is trauma stacks, and we've got to recognize that there are things that we can do with that to get rid of that trauma so that we can actually get healthy again. If you're struggling, get help. There's no shame in it. There's help available. You contact your VA, you call the crisis line. It's super simple. They'll get you in touch with somebody that day. All right, and that's for anything. We also have the Montana Mental Health Crisis Line as well.
The Montana Mental Health Crisis Line can be contacted 24/7 at 988. In Great Falls, I'm Quentin Shores, MTN News.
Good evening. We saw an active day across central Montana. We had some hail, a lot of lightning, and some gusty winds as well. Now we'll do it again tomorrow for the high line. We'll look at some scattered storms. Potentially one or two of those could turn severe, mainly to the east of Havre. But the rest of us drying out. We'll see those winds kicking up, especially Wednesday and Thursday as our next weather system starts to move in. That's going to bring more shower and storm chances for the later part of the week. So we'll be looking at that potential for a couple of stronger storms Thursday evening and into Friday. But your forecast tomorrow, I think we'll stay mostly dry in Great Falls. There's a chance for a passing shower in the evening. We'll get a little bit of sunshine in, but the day will start out pretty cloudy, and we could actually see a couple of showers in the morning as well. Helena, we have a nice day ahead. I think we'll stay dry. Temperatures topping out in the low 80s, but there's that storm risk out in eastern Montana. Central Montana, we are not looking at any severe weather, but up towards Glasgow, there is that chance for a stronger thunderstorm with some damaging wind gusts and some hail being the main concerns.
A wetter than average July has helped keep fire season at bay in Big Sky Country. MTN's Brianna Juneau spoke with a fire prediction expert and a National Weather Service hydrologist about the state's current fire danger.
You might have noticed quite a bit of recent precipitation in the last several weeks, from showers to thunderstorms over the region. This has been a welcome break from the usual dry conditions this time of year. But what is this moisture doing for Montana?
So typically when it comes to July and August, we're seeing warm temperatures, kind of a very dry season for us.
But this year, in the month of July, Great Falls received over 1.75 inches of rain, with other regions in north central, eastern, and southwestern Montana receiving rain totals between 1 to 2 inches.
It's not something that we had seen since a year like 1985.
Dan Blarsum, a predictive services meteorologist for the Northern Rockies, says that this is a weather pattern that is highly unusual.
So that's pretty important to say that we haven't seen this pattern in about 40 years.
As far as fire season goes, for north central Montana and the Golden Triangle, this moisture has helped green up grasses and limit fire ignition, improving the fire outlook for this time of year.
Usually this time of year, it's just getting worse. There are a lot of reds typically on the outlook. However, the area has been downgraded to green, which is below normal wildland fire outlook.
Despite the welcome rainfall and the significant change to the wildfire outlook, it's important to continue practicing vigilance. Most of the region is still under dry drought conditions, and coming up, drier weather is expected.
Doesn't mean that we don't have to worry about fire.
As fire season typically peaks in July and August, it's important to be ready for potential dry and hot weather ahead if the moisture pattern fades. In Cascade County, Brianna Juneau, MTN News.
Well, the U.S. Senate is in its August recess. Montana's senior senator is using part of his time away from Capitol Hill to talk about military matters. MTN's Madison Collier has more on his Monday visit to the Electric City.
On Monday, Senator Steve Daines met with Malmstrom leadership to get an update on their mission. He spoke with us first about his priorities while he's here.
What this mission has done right here in Great Falls to prevent the bad guys in the world from doing something that they would regret. Such an important deterrence. It's all about peace through strength. That's what this base is all about.
Senator Daines says the work happening at Malmstrom is critical to national security, and a recent defense bill includes key funding updates for the Sentinel project.
But also we'll be talking about the investment made with that one big beautiful bill. We made a couple of $1 billion investments. This bill that we passed with President Trump will be helping us with this Sentinel upgrade to make sure this mission then is upgraded to prepare for the threats for the next generation.
Daines says his current conversations with leadership focus on progress and challenges, and he's prioritizing speaking with those directly involved.
This is a very, very important upgrade, this Sentinel project, to one of the most important missions we have in the U.S. military, and that's the nuclear triad. And of that third leg in the stool, the ICBM mission is the most important leg of the three legs.
Daines says his visit here sends a clear message that Montana's voice matters when it comes to deterrence, readiness, and taking care of the people behind the mission.
Montana. And this mission here in Great Falls is one of the most important military missions we have in the nation.
With long-term missile upgrades underway and national defense front and center, Daines says Malmstrom will continue to play a key role in keeping America strong. Reporting from Malmstrom Air Force Base, Madison Collier, MTN News.
The Helena Regional Airport Authority presented their airport master plan to the public tonight. Key topics of discussion included airport growth, operational and financial sustainability over the next 20 years. MTN's Madeline Heath has the update.
As you head on your next trip out of Helena, you could see some changes rolling into the airport.
Looking at where are we at today and where are we going in the future, and trying to plan that the best way possible.
In 2024, the Helena Regional Airport saw a 13% increase in passengers from the year prior. And with that, the airport plans to expand facilities through adding 2 more gates, more concourse space, and baggage claims.
And no matter how we see the growth, we'll be positioned so that we can develop that more quickly or slowly, depending on the success.
The last airport master plan was created in 2016. The Helena Regional Airport is working alongside engineers and architects to forecast what is next for the campus.
The biggest goal of the airport master plan is really to set up the next 20 years of growth and development for the entire 1,400-acre airport campus.
The Federal Aviation Administration requires master plans and provides funding for those expansion projects.
These projects that we identify are tied to activity levels rather than necessarily years. So that incorporates some flexibility.
Airport leaders say one of the biggest questions from the public is, will the airport get more flights and airlines? Airport Director Jeff Wadecamper says although air service is not a part of the master plan, there are connections.
To get more air service and see more success with that, we on a parallel track have to make sure that we're planning the terminal facility, the airfield, and all the supporting elements properly.
Reporting in Helena, Madeline Heath, MTN News.
It's just over a month until Helena voters will decide whether they're willing to support raising property taxes to fund major improvements to 3 local schools.
The time is now. Vote yes!
The committee Yes for Helena Schools held a rally outside Helena High School this morning. Helena Public Schools has proposed 2 bonds worth a total of more than $280 million. They would pay for fully rebuilding Helena High and Kessler Elementary School and significantly renovating Capitol High. But supporters argued the bonds would benefit the entire community, not just 3 schools. They said the current buildings are under strain and it's time to build something that meets the needs of students today. Voters will start receiving their ballots in the mail later this month. They must be returned by September 9th. As the election approaches, stay with MTN News as we'll have more on the bond proposals, including a look inside the schools that could be rebuilt. Coming up, remembering a longtime Great Falls business leader.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Welcome back. The Great Falls business community has lost one of its most recognizable faces. She was synonymous to TV viewers with the expression, "Thanks, Pam." The successful insurance agent recently passed away. MTN's Justin Robichaux looks back on the impact she made.
The passing of Pam Alfred is a huge loss to the Great Falls community, and her husband Bob shares some of her memories and what was important to her in life.
She was a woman of God. She loved the Bible. She loved people, and her faith was her foundation.
Her entire life she lived in the Big Sky State.
Pam grew up here, spent all but 5 years of her life here. The other 4 she spent at Montana State University studying health and coaching, and then the other year she taught in Belgrade for a year.
Pam made history in women's high school sports in the Electric City.
She ended up being one of the first basketball players in Montana, because they didn't start girls basketball till '73, and she played '73 and '74 for Great Falls High.
Bob Alfred shares a memorable pastime of Pam challenging the community in basketball.
I remember one of my favorite stories, one of the neighbors, who I think was a couple years older than her, told me one time in my office that she used to go around the neighborhood hustling guys to play horse for a quarter.
He recollects Pam striving for the best throughout her lifetime.
If I had a nickname for her, I'd call her the competitor. She loved to win like we all do, but for her it was about the competition.
The driving force for Pam was her positive attitude.
I've always been a three-quarter. I'm not a half full glass person. My glass has always been at least 3/4 full. And that's how she lived every single minute and day of her life.
Bob says the social media response for Pam is off the charts, with good things to say about her.
The comments are all the same, over and over and over. She was an amazing person, very motivational, very encouraging, fun to be around. That's my Pam.
In Great Falls, Justin Robichaux, MTN News.